we're talking about this theme, showing up, I kept hearing this morning, show up on time, Racquel, show up on time, Racquel, show up on time. Show up on time. Show up on time for a date. Might take you far. Show up on time for an interview, you might get the job. Show up for a meeting, you'll be impressionable. But I want to talk about showing up in different ways in my life. I'll share a little bit about my background because I believe that stories unite us all, and then we're able to talk about what's next after that. And so I want to first and foremost tell you that I'm a twin. Let's get it out the way right now. She's actually in the audience. I'm way cooler. But I grew up in Dallas, Texas, grew up in a single-parent home. My mom is here this morning as well, and I'm so excited about that. So there's the little nuggets. Mom, I think some type of way in both of these pictures, we're holding each other up. Like, it's like this lean or something. I don't know. We were pretty fat, but really cute. So my childhood was just so exciting because I always had someone to spend my life with. Grew up as a twin, Dallas, Texas. We matriculated through high school. And my mom's vision for us was always that we would go to college, finish college. That was really her heart's desire, and she drilled that in us every moment of our life, especially in high school. I remember being a senior in high school and everyone else is going to the dances and going to the senior picnics and the luncheons and all the things we really maybe couldn't have afforded at that time. And we were home writing scholarship essays. My mom would take our phones if we didn't complete enough on time. And so she always instilled this, theme of just diligence and perseverance, even when we got no's. And so I finally got a yes from Texas Christian University. Go Frogs. I know I'm in SMU land, but, TCU ended up coming to give a presentation. I was sitting in my senior English AP class. They removed some students from the room. I was smart, and so they took some smart kids in a room and started talking about a scholarship opportunity to attend Texas Christian University on a full ride. I thought that sounded really awesome, and I thought it would make my mom, proud, especially if it was free and we could, have our education paid for. And so I signed up. I went through all of the, requirements. We went through interviews. There were 300 students that applied to TCU for that particular scholarship program in Texas. They selected 60 to interview, and 30 students were selected. And my twin sister and I just happened to be one of those 30. And so I felt like it was a dream that was materializing in a real way. Like, oh my gosh, I get to go to college. I get to make mom proud. I get to really do something with my life. And so I went to college. I participated in a lot of things. I have some pictures, and they were really way far throwbacks. That's us. Hanging out in the Commons our first day on a college campus, and it was so amazing. We got to volunteer in a lot of organizations. We went to TCU football games. I participated in pageants. I joined a sorority. I really lived the best life in the 4 years that I had. I went and joined gospel choir. I won a pageant as a freshman, competing against upperclassmen, which was really intimidating, but I ended up pulling it off, and we did a lot of great things with kids. It was really my heart to give back and work with students to show them that they could do the same thing that I had done. And so that was really fulfilling for me. I got to my senior year of college. That's me and Horn Frog right there hanging out on a bench. I got to my senior year of college. I was trying to figure out what's next. You're at family dinners. You're home for break. Everyone's asking you what's next. Where are you getting ready to go? What are you going to do? Where are you going to apply? And I really didn't have an answer for anybody. I really wanted to tell them all to be quiet, but you can't do that at family dinner. But I was a senior. I was trying to figure out my way, and I figured out what I wanted to do with my life. So I heard about the Walt Disney College program. I would move to Orlando, Florida. I would be able to work for the happiest place on earth. I applied, and I actually got in, which was super, random. So 2014, May 10th, I graduated across the stage at TCU. May 17th was my birthday. I was driving 17 hours to Orlando, Florida to chase this opportunity to work for the happiest place on earth. And I remember my mom and my sister coming with me. They packed up the car, they met me there, and it was just a really awesome moment. I felt like I had made it. You know, we get this college degree, we feel like we've made it in the world. I did everything I needed to do. I went to college, Mom. I finished. I'm successful, because that's what society says, that I'm successful and I've done it. I'm done. Let me go live my life. And that picture was taken in May. That was the last time I had smiled until November of 2014. And I wanted to bring that picture up because I remember every emotion that I felt after that. I got to Orlando, Florida. I felt really confused. Nothing was working out the way it was supposed to. And I was trying to understand why I had been placed in a different situation and nothing was coming to pass. I felt like I was broke, like most college recent, graduates. I felt like I was, one of the only women of color. I was young. I was in a different place. I was away from my family. It was weird. So I ended up actually leaving the opportunity. And I moved back to Dallas, Texas. Now, I do want to pause and say that my husband would be very upset. We actually met at the Walt Disney College program. He would be very upset if he was like, you just made it sound like it was all miserable. We got married 3 years later, so I had to shout him out before he gets upset. Whatever. So we met, we married, and so I figured out along the way that there was a reason I was supposed to be in Orlando, Florida, away from everything else. I got back home. I started doing a lot of research. It was kind of like a soul-searching process, trying to figure out who I was as a college graduate, a young woman, trying to figure out what my career would be. I had some opportunities that were really awesome and some that were weird. I had some odd jobs. I wasn't making the money I really wanted to make. I wasn't doing anything that I thought I would be doing. I started doing research. Surely I can't be the only one going through this problem. There's got to be some other graduates that are relating to this struggle. We talk about them over girls' night. We talk about it with friends. You get on Instagram, Facebook, I see everybody living their life, and nobody was really talking about how I was feeling. So I got on Google. I did some research. Oh, there we go. 55% of students surveyed by American Association of American Colleges and Universities felt that they were prepared to work with people that didn't look like them, that they didn't have anything in common with. 18% of employers actually agreed. 74% of college graduates felt their schools failed to fully prepare them for the real world. I know we're at a collegiate institution. The SMU is, so prestigious in the community. So it's not a bash on, college education. I completed it. But I would challenge this quote to say, I don't think it is that schools failed to prepare students. I think that students failed to know what the real world would be like. So I want to talk about showing up in a not so real world. We're in this bubble for 4 years. You get pushed out if you did everything right. You're done. Maybe your loans kick in, maybe they don't. And you're in this different place. And you don't feel like you're ready. And you don't feel like you're prepared. So I thought about the lessons that I learned as a college graduate in my work that I've been doing across the country. I started speaking. I started talking to other students that looked like me, that didn't look like me. I've gone on to speak at University of Kansas, and SMU came back here, TCU, OU, did a workshop at LinkedIn headquarters in Sunnyvale, California, just having this conversation with college students and graduates about the life that they are facing and how they can prepare themselves for the real world that is among us. So I want to talk about 3 lessons that I learned 4 years ago, and then how they can apply in all of our lives today and in the work that we do. My first point is that paper doesn't matter, what you do with it does. Hashtag What's Next is a movement for undergraduates, and I was sitting in a seminar It was a Q&A portion, and a student came up to me afterwards. They had tears in their eyes. They were pouring out their life, talking about how they didn't feel fulfilled. Did I relate to that? Are they crazy? What's going on? And I asked them, what's your purpose? What do you want to do? They said, well, I have a degree and so I think I'm going to blah, blah, blah with that degree. I said, no, I don't want to hear about your paper. I don't want to hear about the degree. I want to know what you want to do with it. And that is what matters for all of us in this room, whether we have a degree or not. What we are doing with our lives matters so much more than what we have stamped behind our name or in our credentials on our resume. And so this first point, get rid of your timeline. I talked to so many students that had it all figured out. I'm going to graduate in May. I hope to have a job, maybe bum on my parents' couch for a few months. Maybe I'm going to go ahead and, follow the internship opportunity that I have. I hope to make this much money. Then I'm going to date. I'm going to be married by this age. I'm going to get a promotion at this age. And then, at 30, I'll probably buy a house. And then I'll go on to do all of these things. And what I've learned, and I think that what we can all relate to in this room, the timeline really sucks. Like, the timeline doesn't add up. There have been times in my life where I thought I would be farther than what I am. I thought I would be doing this. I thought I would be making more. I thought he would have proposed by now. I thought I'd have a baby by now. The timeline doesn't add up. And so what I challenge all of us with the timelines that we have, use them as a foundation, but we can't be so boggled down with it that we don't look up to enjoy life in its fullness. The second is put on your scarf. I love scarves. I love different patterns of scarves. I like textures, and I really just enjoy the fall and winter. Is anyone thriving in fall and winter season right now? Like, this is your best time. You love the fall boots. You love the sweaters, the scarves, the whole works. So when I was a freshman at TCU, fun fact, I actually came in as a musical theater major. And I was a vocalist. I grew up singing in the church. I decided to become the next Whitney Houston. I wanted to be on Broadway. I would, be hanging out with my family one night, whatever the case may be. My mom and dad would always talk about the fact that I didn't have on a scarf. Or like, where's your coat? You didn't bring a scarf. And I'm like, it's not even that cold outside. I get sick like 3 days later. And I, get on the phone with them. They're like, it's because you didn't put on your scarf. You were out in the elements and you weren't bundled up. What I realize about that moment is that a scarf is representative of a season. So scarves come on when it's cold outside, it's the fall, and so seasons can change and seasons can vary. And depending on the season, you might have a scarf on, you might have an umbrella with you, you might have a raincoat or rain boots. Seasons that we go through in our lives require us to put on different things. Maybe there's a season of I'm broke. Maybe there's a season of depression. Maybe there's a season of I'm about to be an empty nester. My kids are all leaving. What do I do? Maybe there's a season of I'm single. All my friends are getting married. They're having kids. And I'm sitting here with my dog eating Chinese food takeout. Whatever season that we find ourselves in is only a season, but what we bring with us and what we put on, what we shield ourselves with, whether that's your faith, whether that's friends and family, when you are going through a rough time, whether it's a girls' night, just so that you feel that in whatever season you're in. Maybe it's picking up a second job so I can get out of the brokenness. Whatever that season looks like for you, put on your scarf, just like so many college graduates have to do. I'm not making the money I really want to make at this random job. So what can I be doing? That's the era of the side hustle. Side hustle is a season. Maybe it turns into a full-time opportunity. But whatever it is for you, put on your scarf. Find the right pattern. And my third point, start in your own behind the scenes. In 2014, I moved back from Disney. I was in a really frustrated place. I was disappointed with how I thought my life turned out. I got back home. I wasn't making a lot of money. I got into a car accident the week after I got back home. I was sleeping on my mom's couch. And to me, I had not arrived. The degree that I had, the success that came to me, I felt was in vain. I felt it hadn't really monumented to anything. I'd get on Facebook, I'd hang out with friends, even though I really don't want to go because I don't want to hear about how happy your life is. Mine is miserable right now. And I found myself crying. I cried so much. And I had a lot of support, but there was an internal battle that I was facing. And that battle was, I took my behind the scenes moment that we don't post, that we don't share. How's everything going? It's great. That we don't caption, we disappear, we fall off the grid, and we look at someone else's reel, someone else's pinnacle or moment of success that's happening, and we compare our behind the scenes without knowing what their behind the scenes was. There are so many behind the scenes stories in this room, and they are beautiful, they are scarred. Women have faced so many adversities, so many challenges, so many just issues that we have overcome. I was reading the website and I was getting to know more about the theme for today, and one of the points said, facing challenges head on so that we may be able to empower each other. So that's a lot of what the speakers here are doing today. We're talking about our challenges. Nancy spoke of her challenges, and the speakers after me will do the same. But I'd like to argue that a lot of the reason that we cannot face challenges head on is because we're trying to time them. We're trying to compare them. The behind the scenes of my life is different from your behind the scenes. And maybe if we were beginning to have a conversation about what those look like, we can empower each other. We can support one another. So when I travel across the country to speak to college graduates, and my work now as a creative communications professional, it's not about me, but it's about being able to give and share of my story. And as I do that, hopefully I inspire others to do the same. So I'd like us all to get rid of our timelines, put on your scarf, and star in your home beyond the scenes. Thank you.